And my piece was Beginnings of a Journey, by the way. My history of music's pretty interesting, where I was about 10 years old, and I thought, oh, this theme song from the IT crowd is pretty interesting. I'd like to play that after having no musical experience. And then from there I started to get into analog synthesizers and writing electronic music, and I won a few electronic music competitions. But then I found I couldn't go further with the form, and that's when I found death metal. I was doing that at school with some friends, and then they got more and more music theory based, and I thought music theory is fun. And then from there I started learning jazz music, and so my whole upbringing up to the age of about 14 was just random things that I found an interest in, and it was only until then when I started to pay more attention to the music I was actually listening to. And because I was at the Young Conservatorium up in Brisbane in the orchestras and such, and I was doing percussion at the time, and then I started playing piano, and then from there everything has been a very linear line where went from piano to guitar and bass and accordion and ukulele, and trying to get my hands on as many instruments as I can, and which is quite difficult to find a Wagner tuba for sale, but yeah, and just these last few years I've gotten really heavily into classical music, where I started out listening to I started out with people like Debussy and Xenakis and such, and I thought I was really smart. And then as I got further and further into music, I realized there were so many more things than just 20th century music. But I still come back to my favorite composer is Messiaen with his Nativity for organ. I listen to that every day now. My alarm clock is the finale. But and so I'm
resurrection images.
Yeah. And so in the end my music is just kind of a weird amalgamation of electronics, jazz and classical music now. I recently finished a Gesamtkunstwerk, which I've been working on for a while. I had to finish the script for that just a few days ago, and where I incorporated chamber ensembles and electronic music together. But I also do things like large orchestrations as well as small orchestrations and solo things. But the fanfare was an interesting change for me because I hadn't written a fanfare before. Well, I entered last year, but it was really bad, and I deleted it. But this year I spent a lot more time focusing, because I'd just come from writing 12-tone serialism, just completely abstract concepts like painting instead of writing notes, and like really getting into crazy stuff. And so I thought this is an opportunity to clear my brain and to really focus in. And my inspiration was two things. The first one was this chord. It's a nice B flat major Lydian cluster. And I thought, how could I turn that into a piece? And also at the time, yeah, that's about it. How can I turn that chord into a piece? And so that's when we get my fanfare. Because so that piece is also heavily inspired by 1950s PSAs, They just have such nice music. That yes, and so winning this competition, like not winning, but being involved in it, is probably the icing on the cake for me at the moment, because I've recently just been commissioned by 3 people, so that's nice. And then this was just a great feeling as well. And then, because my pieces have been played a few times just at school and then other venues and such, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. This is going to be fun.